everyone, welcome back. I had so much fun with that little piece of 2x4 that I had cut up and did on my last video that I found another little piece. I had to cut this chunk off. It's an old piece. It was a lot dirtier than this and was actually out in my yard, up on my stock of firewood. I just decided, I cleaned it up a little bit I sanded a little bit so I had some room to draw. I've drawn some little outlines and what have you, but I've also decided with this one that I'm just gonna, that's just the basic shape, but I really don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll find out together as we go. It's gonna be another fairy garden piece, just something to stick into whether you have a little fairy garden in your yard or in the house, on shelves, or if it's just something you want to put into a plant in the house and just have a small little house there. Just to be as a talking point for when friends or somebody comes over and takes a look at it. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started on this one. We'll see how it goes, and thanks again for watching. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the cutting wheel. This is pretty soft wood, and I'm just going to try to get our basic shape out of there. I've got a basic shape now. It's a pretty tall house. I've got some balconies sticking out, I think. We'll see if we keep them both. So now let's do a little bit more shaping with this burr. So we have a house, kind of whimsical, spreading out at the bottom. Going to try to work on these just a second and see how those look, whether I want to keep them. And then I'm going to probably draw in like the front and some steps going down and around, and all the typical stuff that I like to put on my fairy garden homes. All right, so I've drawn in a couple of things here. I've got some window shapes put in where I'd like to put some windows. That can change as I'm doing it. I have where I want to shave off a little bit of these overhangs, just a hair. I have a walkway, a doorway in the back with a walkway coming around this way. And then I also have one in the front coming around this way. I also have this circle with an X. And I think what I'd like to do is put a drill hole straight through here, through to the other side. And this is going to be kind of like a stream or something underground, like a cave sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and then I'll come back and start carving. There we go. Right on through. So we're going to go ahead and turn that into a culvert with a little stream coming out of the bottom on both sides. And the walkway will come over with an arched bridge on both sides to give us a little bit of fun. right, we have the basic front porch. We're going to go ahead and put stairs in that come down all the way around. They're going to go all the way. There'll be a little bridge here that we do. This will be stone right in here with an arched bridge. This stairway from the back door will come down and meet right here. We're going to go across another arched bridge. And I don't know what's going to happen here yet. I'm not sure if I want to go all the way in and have the bottom of the house coming through like I've done in past projects. But I don't know yet. We'll see when I get there. I still have a lot to do here. I have some groundwork to do. I have to do some boards, the windows, the shingles. I had intended on putting a chimney on this, but I did forget that, and obviously cannot put that back. So I could go and cut a little piece off of this and glue it on, but I'm really not. I don't want to do that. So I'll get that all done. I'll get this stairway in and stonework around where the stairs are, and we'll go from there. We'll see what we end up with. I'm going to go ahead and go in and clean up these windows edges from that round bit, get them a little bit square, put a little more detail on the stairs because that is a little rounded on the edges there, and begin to do the stonework around this so I can see where that's going to be. Just in general, some medium, as I like to call them, medium details. So let's see what we can do. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put a bit of a pointier tip on so that I can go in and do the boards on the house, do a little detail on the shingles, and then start these bridges up here. Oh, I know one thing I forgot. I do want to put a couple of rocks down in here and probably here. So let's do that with the bit I've got on here already. That would probably be a good idea. Okay, so I put some rough rock around this opening. I'll continue this all the way around here, but I've got that part done. I think since I still have this bit on here, I'm going to go ahead and do a rock outcropping here all the way around this side and down under these steps. I'm sure I'll have to put a rock here, but this also could just be a dirt area. So we'll see how I do it here. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure you can see what I've done here. I've gone and put a little bit of a hole right through into this little tunnel thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of white glue in here and mix up some sawdust from this and stick in there. Once it's painted and stained and all that good stuff, no one's going to ever see that, but I didn't realize I was that close. All patched up and ready to move on. Okay, so I've got all our rocks in down here, up underneath here. I've got the opening done here with an entrance to rocks. I can't obviously put them down inside there, it's just too far in. I got this side done, and then as I was doing it, I realized I was going to do something with this, but I'm just going to have it end here. It doesn't really need to go anywhere, I guess. It is a fairy garden house. It could be what you want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and put the my pointier bit on here, a real fine tip, and go in and start getting some more details to finish this thing up. All right, so what do you think? Yep, broke that off, but I kind of like the smaller overhang anyhow. Um, it almost made it look too top heavy, but again, it's a fairy garden place, so it really wouldn't have mattered one way or the other. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a stain on here, let that dry, come back and do some dry brush painting on it like I have, and maybe put some shrubs in here with some of the railroad foliage that I have, just to give it a little bit nicer of a look. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll be back once I get this all stained up. All right, as you can see, I've got our stain on here, and now I'm going to go ahead and start dry brushing some of the stonework in. I also have, I don't know if all of you have ever heard of this, but this is an acrylic medium. I got this from Hobby Lobby, not sponsored at all, but this stuff here is a very thick, like a paste-like stuff, but it dries super clear, super glossy, and it is fantastic to put down in here to make this look like actual water, and I'll show you that here shortly. All right, I want to try these earthy tones that I have in here just to keep this not so bright. This is from before. This is my stain, my antique stain that I'm using right now. This stuff is still a little bit wet from, I don't know, from my last project a week ago. But I like it just because it does get down into the cracks real nice, especially when it's watery, and it will give you it'll highlight stuff for you because the darker color of it will stay in the cracks and make things pop a little bit better for you. But I like to kind of put that on like that, especially on woodwork. All right, so now I'm going to go up and I'm going to do the whole house, get those boards to pop out, and it does a real nice job of that. You can just see those just pop. And I wasn't sure if I liked this undertone that I used as a stain. It was called Colonial Maple. I chose it because I have it. I know that seems like a lame way to do it, but I wasn't about to go try to find another, go out and buy another one. I'll need to do that later, but for the time being, it's going to do the trick. I'm going to use this, it's kind of a warm gray, a brownish gray maybe, for the shingles, just to give it a lighter color up on top. I'm going to try to do my best just to get that brushed in there nicely, just to give it a little bit of a pop. I like that. I think I'm also going to take a little bit of that and put down here, make this just a little bit of a lighter shade coming out of the hole for the water. You can see how watery this is. The other thing I want to do with this, let's get this all watered down a little more. I'm going to take a little bit of this, it's a aloe green is what it's called, and I'm going to just take and do some very light brushing on there to give that a little bit of a greenish tone to it once we get the rest of the coloring on that. All right, now for the rest of the stonework, I'll just get it a little bit of a nice light brush. I don't want anything too crazy here, just so that you know it's stonework. It obviously looks that way. It looks like stone, but we want to give it a little bit of the color. Again, we're just to make it pop, and we're not trying to overshadow our carving by any means. So make sure if you do any painting that all you're doing is highlighting things. You're not covering up your main work. Of course, you can break that rule if you did make a really bad mistake and want to cover it up. I've done that too, but for the most part, you can kind of see how quickly this color just soaks right into this wood. I went super light, and it just almost ghosted. It became, the wood sucked it right up, which is I mean, I guess okay, but at least now I'm going to go back over it a little bit to make sure that we do have some highlights on here, because it is awfully dark down under there. Get a little bit more of this green down inside there, and a little bit of this lighter gray beige. All right. Always getting a little bit too much in there. I want some of that green to show, but I just don't want it overpowering, and that was just a little bit overpowering. Pretty cool. Pretty cool so far. I think what I'll do too is take a little bit more up on the roof, because again, it just faded right in. And I think the other thing the roof needs, just a tiny bit of moss up here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this white and mix it in with this lighter gray kind of here. And that's going to be in our windows. And that's not the way we want to do it. We do not want a big old glob in there. We just want a little bit of a highlight, like so. Not perfect, but I think I got it a little bit better. I'll go ahead and I'll throw a little touch of brown in there just to offset it. That just completely covered that white up, which is not what I was intending. Just want to give just the look of a little bit of a glimpse of reflection. There it is. Again, I really did not want a whole lot going on here. Keep this one pretty much very minimal. Okay, so we're done. I didn't want to do a whole lot of paint on this one. I just wanted to highlight some areas. I'm going to go ahead and show you this medium stuff that I was talking about. It's a gloss medium. It's very thick, very thick. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll put it in here. And you want it to kind of like stick up. You want to fill in everything, but you do want it to kind of stick up. So you're going to make like waves or ripples, and it'll dry that way, and you'll get a 3D look to it. So we'll go ahead and get that in there. Don't want it up here. Just a little bit smaller of a brush. And I can go ahead and I can put in little rivulets of the stream coming through. So you can see motion. You can see the motion of the water. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll come back in a little bit once this is completely dried. And depending on how this dried and what the color underneath it looks like, trust me, this stuff dries completely clear. And then what I'll do is I'll brush some white caps or some, so you can, it looks like there's bubbles in the water coming out and giving it motion. And then I'll put a gloss coat over top of this whole thing, or a matte, I'm not sure yet. And then I've got some railroad foliage to put in to give this a little bit more of a pop. Well, hello everyone. I'm out here having my morning cup of coffee, and I had this all finished. I went and did my finishing touches on this guy this morning. You can see there's the water down in there underneath. Hopefully that comes off pretty well. We've got some foliage on there. That's just railroad lichen and what have you to give it that look that we have going on there. But I'm pretty pleased with this one, the way it finished up. I really do like it. I hope you guys did too. I hope you guys get a chance today to go out and carve. Go have some fun today. Follow along, try to go ahead and do this. Don't hesitate to ask questions, or if you'd like to see something else that you'd like me to try, give it a holler. But my most popular videos just seem to be the fairy house videos, the ones for fairy gardens and what have you. So give it a shot, go out and carve. Thanks for watching. Hope you all subscribe and enjoy your day.